This is a 7.5 practice. We're asked to find the determinant here. So remember, it's the ones going this way minus the ones going this way, right? So 5 times negative 1 would be 5, minus 4 times 9 is 36. That equals negative 31 would be the determinant. Okay, number 3. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3, minus one's going this way would be negative 10. So it'd be 7. Number 5 is negative 9 minus negative 9, which is 0. Now, one thing I haven't really talked about before is if our determinant is 0, we won't have an inverse in the future, but we'll talk about that. But also, the solving won't work if I have a determinant of 0 like that, because it's divided by 0 anyway. You'll see that later maybe. Okay, determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. Remember, we rewrite the first two. Okay, rewrite these two there. And we want to go this way minus that way. Okay, so we have these numbers, which would be 0 and 15, negative 30, and 4 times 7 is 28. And then we want to go the other way. I can work that out. That's negative 2. Okay, going the other way, this would be 0. And negative 24. And negative 4 would be negative 28. So it'd be what? Negative 52. So it'd be 52 minus 2 would be 50. Our determinant would be 50. Number 16. Rewrite these again. And it's these. Okay, so it'd be 0. And negative 4 and negative 16. Altogether, we add to negative 20. Minus, one's going the other way. I'm sorry, what's that number there? That's a 0. Yeah, okay, I did have a 0 there. Okay. So it'd be negative 14. And negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, and 0. So it would be negative 30. So negative 20 plus 30 would be determinant of 10. Number 26, I have an equation to solve, so it's determinant here. So I know that 10 minus negative 3x will equal the determinant. Okay, so this way minus that way, right? So that's really 3x. And if I subtract your 10 over, I get negative 4. So I get x is equal to, this x would equal negative 4/3. Number 28, determinant. So x times x is x squared. And 3x equals the determinant of 4. I have a quadratic to solve. We've done a lot of these this year. Get it equal to 0. Factor it. So x could either equal 4 or negative 1. Okay, in number 36, I told you to use Desmos for that because you have a 4 by 4. Basically, just make the determinant, put your numbers in there, find the determinant of A, and your determinant should be negative 311. Okay, for 57, to solve this, I'm going to have to find my x. I know is going to be dx over d, and my y is going to be dy over d, right? So I have to find these determinants to divide, okay? So my d matrix are just the coefficients, so 1, 1, 2, negative 1. My dx matrix, okay, remember it has the constant first, okay, 4 and 2, and then the y, so 1 and negative 1. And the dy matrix has the x's first, so 1 and 2, and then the constant 4 and 2. Okay, so I got to find the determinants of these. Okay, so it'd be -1 plus 2, which would equal 1. -4 minus 2 would be -6. This would be 2 minus 8 would be -6. Now, you can go ahead and use Desmos for these. I said you could, but if it's just a 2x2 matrix, it's a lot easier just to do here. Once you get to the 3x3 matrices, then I would go to Desmos a little more. But anyway, it's dx, which is -6 over 1, which would equal, my x is -6. Dy, which would be -6 over, oh, they're all both -6. Hold on, something's not right there. Okay, found the mistake. This should be -1 minus 2, which would, this would be -3 here. So dividing them both by -3. So I get 2 and 2. My x is a 2 and my y is a 2. Let's make sure it makes sense. 2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. So we are correct. That's 57. Number 58, our d is going to be equal to the coefficients, 3, 2, 2, and -1. My dx are the constants and the y's. And the dy are the x's, and then the constants. Okay, so find the determinants here. That would be -3 minus 4, which would be -7. 4 minus -10 would be 10 would be 14. -15 minus -8, -7. My x is dx over d, and my y is dy over d. So dx was 14 over -7 would be -2. dy was -7 over -7, which would be 1. So 58 has an x of that and a y of 1. 59, d is 4233 dx. Got to keep remembering, just do this over, you know where they are, right? So it'd be the -7, -11, and then the y's, and the dy is the x's, and then the constants. Okay, so I have 12 minus 6 would be 6, -21 minus -33 would be 12, and -44 minus -14, so 44 plus 14 gives me, no, sorry, -44 plus 14 gives me -30. So my x variable would be the dx over the d, which would be 12 over 6, which is 2. My y is the dy over d, which would be -30 over 6, would be -5. Isn't it neat that there are different ways of how you can solve these systems? 65. Okay, we're switching to a 3x3 matrix now. And I said that you can use Desmos to find the determinants if you'd like to. You don't have to figure them all out by hand. Okay, but let's figure out our matrices first. So D would be 4, 3, 2, -1, 1, -1, and 3, 1, 4. dx is going to be the constant first, so -3, 0, and 0. And then the y's, -1, 1, -1. And then the z's, 3, 1, 4. Okay, so you have the constants, and then the y's, and then the z's. dy is going to have the x term first, So 4, 3, 2. And then the constants, -3, 0, 0. And then the z's, 3, 1, 4. And the dz has the x's first, and then the y's, and then the constants. Okay, so we have to find all those determinants. Okay, and going to Desmos, to find these determinants here. I know my x is going to be dx over d, which is going to be dx is negative 15 over 15, which is negative 1. Y is going to equal dy over d. So dy was 30 over 15, which is 2. And the z is going to equal dz over d, which is negative 15 over 15, which is negative 1. So now my x is negative 1, my y is 2, my z is negative 1. Sorry, this is a 15, not negative 15. So it is a positive 1. Number 66. Okay, this is the x, the y, and the z. So just 5, 2, 4, 2, negative 1, 3, 1, 1, and 2. Dx has the constant y and then z. So 15, 9, 13, 2, negative 1, 3, 1, 1, 2. Dy has the x and then the constant and then the z. So 5, 2, 4, 15, 9, 13, and the z is 1, 1, 2. And dz has the x, and then the y, and then the constant. 5, 2, 4, 2, negative 1, 3, 15, 9, 13. Okay, find the determinants on Desmos. Okay, I found these determinants on Desmos. So I know that x is going to equal dx over d, which is negative 45 over negative 15, so x equals 3. My y is going to equal dy over d, 15 over negative 15, so y is equal to negative 1. And my z is going to equal dz over d, negative 30 over negative 15, so z equals 2. And our last problem, number 67. D is the x, the y, and the x, the y, and the z. 2, 3, 1, negative 1, 2, 4, 4, negative 1, 2. Dx is the constant, the y, and then the z. Negative 2, negative 3, 17. Negative 1, 2, 4. 4, negative 1, 2. Dy is the x, the c, and the z. 2, 3, 1. Negative 2, negative 3, 17. 4, negative 1, 2. And the dz, x, y, and then constant. So 2, 3, 1, negative 1, 2, 4, negative 2, negative 3, 17. Okay, find all the determinants on Desmos.